Hello everyone. Today I'm recording another session for us to listen to. This one focuses on understanding the essence of life, the original element of our being. It's an invitation for us to explore and understand this essence from various perspectives and discover ways to reconnect with it. No matter who we are, young or old, disabled or able-bodied, women or men, of any gender, age, caste, status, belief, religion, nationality, or ethnicity, we all share the same life essence as our origin, yet we rarely recognize it. That's why I feel it's essential to speak about the essence of life, the foundation of peace in the world, the universal path beyond suffering, and the core of existence. I repeat this message often and from many different angles to help us rediscover the essence of life. When we understand this essence, we can transcend all suffering. We will move beyond harming, killing, insulting, criticizing, or destroying one another. Once we truly comprehend the essence of life, we will no longer cause harm to ourselves or others. Let's take this opportunity to reconnect with this universal truth, and in doing so, find peace and liberation for all. It's like this. If we understand that the game we're all playing is just a game, not something real, but a story we've collectively created to participate in this world of games, everything starts to change. In the game, there might be fighting and killing to win, clearing levels, building stronger characters, striving to be the best, defeating everything, and destroying one another. We might seek materials, resources, and power to grow stronger, expand kingdoms, and dominate. All of this feels serious and intense within the game world, but in reality, outside the game, none of it truly exists. Do you understand? The game world is one of imagination, a construct where we take on the role of characters and live within the narratives of that world. We follow its steps and systems, aiming to win, to be the strongest, even if it means destroying and harming others. Yet, when we step back and recognize it for what it is, a creation, a game, we can see beyond the illusion. We no longer need to be consumed by the stories or feel bound by them. We can begin to see the truth and live free from the endless cycles of striving and conflict. But when we immerse ourselves in the game and believe in everything that happens within it, emotions arise. We begin to cling to the idea that we truly are this character in the game. We think, this is me, I am this character. We feel the need to change clothes, wear certain outfits, wield specific weapons, gain particular powers, reach higher levels, gather resources, eat, live, build kingdoms, and expand our tribes. We create stories and forms to become the greatest, the strongest, the richest, the most advanced, and the most excellent. In doing so, we become deeply attached to everything we've created. We forget to recognize one crucial truth. We've become completely absorbed in what we've constructed. We're so invested that we don't dare to let it go. Imagine playing this game for 5,500 days, years of daily engagement. We've poured everything into it, creating and building, accumulating so much within the game world. And now, if someone tells us to quit, to let it all go, how could we? We've built so much. We have everything we could ever need within the game. But that's the nature of our attachment. The more we invest in it, the harder it becomes to step away. Even though the game isn't real, it feels impossible to abandon because of the time, effort, and identity we've poured into it. Yet this understanding is what sets us free when we finally see beyond the illusion. Now let's look at reality. The truth is that we are simply sitting here playing the game. We are not actually involved in anything within it. We've never truly created anything in there. Do you see this? We've never had levels, resources, weapons, or power. We've never been anything like the character in the game world. This is the truth. All the stories we think exist, all the things we've been playing for over a year, becoming deeply immersed in, it's all become a part of us. Yet if we just pause and become aware, why are we so attached? That character in the game has nothing to do with us, right? The resources we've spent over a year gathering in the game, becoming the strongest, can we use them in our everyday life? Can they fry an egg for us? Can they fetch food for us? Can they breathe, bathe, or sleep in our place? The answer is no. The world of the game doesn't truly exist as something real, does it? Do you see this? Understanding this truth allows us to let go of the illusion and see reality for what it is. We just need to pause and recognize, to truly realize, yes, this is how it is. Imagine this. We've been playing this game for 50 years, a very long game. We've been playing it since the day we were born. For 50 years, we've built everything within it. It's complete in every way. We've become a great figure in the society of this game, someone with immense resources and everything one could ever need. Reaching this point after 50 years, we've become one of the best, perhaps even number one. There are many skilled players, and we're among the elite. Now, if someone tells us to quit the game, we can't. We're too attached. We've come to believe that we are this character. To stop playing is impossible. It has to be done every day. It's no longer a choice but a necessity. So let me ask, are we the master of the game? Or has the game mastered us? Does it bring us relaxation? Or has it drawn us so deeply into it that we've become addicted? Have we not become slaves to the game? Playing it every day for 50 years, doesn't that mean we've become its prisoner? Day after day, doing nothing but sitting and playing. When we see it clearly, we realize the extent to which we've surrendered our freedom to something that isn't real. Only awareness can break this cycle and set us free. This is how we've become slaves to the game. Do you understand the feeling of ownership we develop toward the story of the game? That sense of attachment? We take possession of the game, believing it is ours. Now imagine if that game were destroyed by something. The character we've been playing dies, and we have to start over completely. How would we feel? We'd suffer deeply, tremendously. But why? Why would we suffer? The key question is, why do we feel pain? After all, the game isn't real, is it? It's a world of imagination, and we've immersed ourselves in it so completely that we've lost sight of this truth. Can you see it? We've bought into the belief that it is truly us, that the character is who we are. Now, when our character is destroyed, or we lose everything, perhaps 50% or even 80% of the power we've accumulated, we're forced to start over. Imagine having played for 50 years, only for it all to crumble. Perhaps it was because of a mistake or a weakness our opponent exploited, draining all our power. Suddenly, everything is gone. In such moments, we feel immense sadness, grief, and suffering. We cry, we lament. But if we step back and see clearly, we realize that the source of our suffering isn't the game itself. It's our attachment to the illusion, our belief that this imagined world is real, and that we are inseparably tied to it. Recognizing this can free us from the endless cycle of pain and loss. Wait a moment. Just stop for a moment. It's a game. Do you understand that it's just a game? The body in the game, it's not our body. Can we understand this first? The body in the game is not our body. Do you see this? The character in the game has a name and a surname, but that name and surname are not ours either. Do you understand? The character might be male or female, but even being male or female isn't truly us. Do you see this? Now, this character has accumulated levels over time and is 50 years old in the game. But do you realize age doesn't truly exist? It's just a number displayed on the screen, showing how much has been accumulated. There's no real age. This character has resources, power, and a grand kingdom, perhaps covering vast lands with authority and influence. But none of this is real. It's all part of the game, a set of images created to make us see and believe. And then we think, this is me, this is my land, this is my kingdom. We believe that the powers and resources are something we possess. But in truth, it's all an illusion. The game projects these forms, and we attach to them, convinced that they are real and that they belong to us. Recognizing this truth helps us see beyond the illusion and frees us from the need to hold on to what was never truly ours. Wake up. We're playing a game. We are not connected to that character at all. Do you understand? The power exists only for use within the game. The kingdom exists only for use within the game. The name and surname are used only within the game. The character is just for the game. The character's body is for use only in the game. Do you see this? Time within the game allows for conversations. Conversations in the game world are just tools for communication. The voice used in the game is merely a voice for interacting within it. Even the images we imagine are tools used within the game. The emotions in the game, they exist as well. These emotions are part of the gameplay. Satisfaction, anger, or happiness. If anger is strong, it grants more power. If it's mild, there's less power. When the mood is joyful, special abilities emerge, but all these emotions are designed for the game. Do you understand this? Even the feelings of the character, the hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and all sensory awareness, exist solely within the game. Sensory perception is a feature meant for use in the game. In summary, none of this has any true existence, yet we cling to it. And the issue is, this attachment has already taken hold. Recognizing this truth is the key to understanding and breaking free. So how can we stop clinging to this game? How do we let go and realize that we are the player, not the character? We're not truly involved. Why are we sitting here playing this game in the first place? This game doesn't help us live our real lives. It can't provide us with food to eat, work to do, a home, a car, or money to pay our bills. Do you see? All of this is just a world of imagination, something we engage with to relax, a toy, nothing more. It's a tool for entertainment. When we're done, we should set it aside. It's not ours. The character and the stories within the game don't belong to us, nor do they belong to anyone. They're just part of an imagined world. In reality, we have no connection to any of this. Do you understand? But there are those who become deeply immersed, who believe completely that they are the character, who believe the game's narrative is real. They've invested so much, 50 years of effort, building and accumulating. How could they just let it go? This is the crux of the issue, the belief, the attachment, the clinging. Letting go requires us to see clearly that these things were never truly ours to begin with. Only then can we step back, recognize the truth, and free ourselves from the illusion. Wait a moment. We've never truly created anything, and we've never truly abandoned anything either. It's just a game. Let me make this clear. It's not about leaving something behind or holding on to anything, because nothing in the game truly exists. Do you see? All we need is to become aware and understand. Understand that this is just a world of the game. It has no inherent reality. Wake up. Stop being consumed by the world of the game. It doesn't exist. It's nothing more than a realm of imagination. The moment you cling to it, suffering arises. Some people, after hearing this, stop playing for a day. Then they start to think, oh no, my character hasn't leveled up today. The daily rewards are lost. My progress is stalled. Even though they know it's not real, it feels real. They feel lonely without the game. They miss playing it. They miss leveling up, battling, and having fun. They start to think, what should I do? How can I let go? They sit and dwell on it, lying in bed thinking about the game they've decided not to play. But their mind keeps pulling them back. They want to dive into it again, to immerse themselves and become part of it. Wake up. We are not connected to the game at all. The world of the game is an illusion. It doesn't truly exist. Whatever happens in it, let it happen. It doesn't matter. It's just a toy, something to play with. Play it and then let it go. That's all there is to it. When you see this truth, you no longer need to struggle with whether to play or not to play. The attachment fades naturally when you fully understand that it's not real and it was never yours to begin with. Let me give you an analogy that connects to our daily lives. From the moment we are born until now, we've been living with constant suffering. We struggle endlessly, chasing after pieces of paper, what we call money. We've created this system, and the one who gathers the most paper is considered the most successful. Yet, in this struggle, we suffer deeply, from morning until night. Why do we suffer so much? Why must we struggle? If we didn't suffer, we wouldn't struggle. Imagine this. We are like an element, a living essence. We are the essence of life itself, formless, pure, and the origin of everything. Understand this deeply. We are this essence, a life force without shape or form. It is utterly pure and clear, the very foundation of existence. Purity here means there is nothing within, just clarity. This clarity is the core of life's essence, pure and untainted. Inside, it is empty, empty of sound, images, emotions, or sensory awareness. Our life essence is like this, complete and pure. It doesn't need a physical body to exist. Within this pure life essence, there is no need for a body or material possessions. This essence is entirely pure. Do you understand the meaning of pure essence? It is the origin, the very foundation of everything, absolutely pristine and clear, without anything added to it. It doesn't contain a body, because material forms are created out of this original essence. They arise from this pure, clear life force within us. I'm speaking about the fundamental essence here, the very beginning of it all. This essence doesn't need material things, because those are coarse and external. Here, within this pure essence, there is no sound, no thoughts, no voices. The voice we use to speak with one another is like something out of a game. In a game, there are tools for communication within that game world. The voice we use here doesn't exist in the pure essence. It isn't necessary. It's only used in this world. Similarly, the body is just a tool for this world, much like in a game. It's all like a game. We even give names to these bodies, like calling it apple sweet fruit, as an example. But have you ever asked your body if it wanted a name? When we were born, did anyone ask us if we wanted this name, this surname? Did anyone ask us first, or did they simply decide for us? Do the material elements in this world have names? They simply exist as they are, don't they? But we take sounds, language, and assign meaning to things. We call this earth, that sky, this river, that tree. We label things as man or woman, me or them, good or bad, right or wrong, merit or sin, wholesome or unwholesome. These are just sounds giving value and meaning to everything, creating a system for communication within this world. All these constructs are tools to navigate life here. But do you realize that if we come to know the essence of life within us, we can truly see that these things are not who we are? First, understand that this entire game we are playing, it has no self, no me, no you. It's not us. It is a world of imagination, a construct of the mind. When we understand this deeply, we begin to see through the illusions, realizing that everything we perceive and interact with is just a fabrication, not the true essence of who we are. Let's return to the realm of the clear and pure life essence, so profoundly pure. This essence has always been with us, yet we don't recognize it. We rely on it, yet we do not know it. It's as if we've been playing a game all along without realizing it. We believe we are the characters in the game, thinking, I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that. We strive to be the best, to build kingdoms, to gain power and achievements, believing that's who we are. But wake up, we are here. We're not the character, we're the one sitting here playing the game. This isn't who we truly are. We are not part of the imagined world within the game. Can you see this? Can you understand this? Now, I will guide you back home, back to the origin of our essence. We are the pure and clear life essence, profoundly pure. Within this essence, there is nothing, only absolute purity. And it is magnificent. Here there is no body, no form. It is utterly peaceful. There is no sound, no thought. Within this space, there are no images, no emotions, no pleasure or displeasure, no anger, frustration, sadness, joy, delight, satisfaction, annoyance, hatred, resentment, depression, loneliness. There are no emotions of any kind. It is pure. This is the nature of our life essence. It has no sound, no image, no emotions, and not even the awareness that you are experiencing right now. The awareness you have at this moment, the ability to perceive sound, smell, sight, taste, touch, warmth, or coolness. This awareness does not exist within the essence of life. The life essence is pure clarity, pure and untainted. It is the very substance of clarity and purity. There is no suffering, no self, no other, nothing at all. This pure and clear life essence possesses immense power. It can create all things. It is already within us, yet we remain unaware of it. This is the key issue. From the moment we were born, we didn't know how we came to be. The life essence seeks to understand this truth. Our life essence is already clear and pure, radiant and unblemished, but it does not know itself, nor does it understand the nature of all things, for there is nothing within it, without any tools to recognize or comprehend itself. The life essence creates certain qualities, attributes that enable it to function. These qualities are what we might call the natural expressions or tools of the life essence. It is in the nature of the life essence to manifest these expressions, which ripple outward, existing at the edges of the essence itself. The life essence can be likened to a perfectly clear droplet of water, a rounded and transparent sphere. Within this droplet, there is the very substance of water, isn't there? And it also has a surface tension. When something touches it, it perceives the contact and ripples form, causing it to respond and create patterns. This is the nature of our life essence, a natural, primordial essence that has always existed. It was never created. No one can create the life essence. It is the original essence, existing before all things. This original essence is inherently pure, but it seeks to understand everything, including itself. To achieve this, it created tools, expressions we call characteristics or manifestations. Without these tools, it wouldn't be able to perceive or know anything. It's like diving into the ocean. Without a submarine or diving gear, you wouldn't be able to explore or learn anything. Or traveling into space. You need a spaceship and a spacesuit to observe and understand. Similarly, the life essence has no physical form, so it creates tools, expressed as characteristics or manifestations. These are like forms of energy that allow it to interact, perceive, and learn about itself and the world. It is like the sun. The sun naturally radiates heat, light, electromagnetic waves, and magnetic fields. These are its characteristics, its manifestations. Similarly, the mind, as the essence of our life, operates in the same way. It is a pure and clear essence that ripples outward at its edges. These ripples can be described as energy, which can transform into sound. Take this sound, for example, the sound I am speaking now. If you observe from within, just being awake and aware, you'll notice the sound that speaks in your mind, constantly thinking, imagining, and chattering. Even the sound of my voice, as I speak aloud, is simply an expression of this essence. It is an attribute, a manifestation of the mind, of the life essence. If we can see that this sound is merely an expression and not us, it becomes like a game. All of it, the sounds we speak within the game, the mental images we create, the emotions we feel, and even the awareness we experience within the game, are part of the game itself. Wake up. We are not truly involved in this. The game is a construct, a fabrication without a real self or identity. It is an imagined world we temporarily inhabit and interact with. Can you see this? Can you understand that the game is not who we are? Here's another analogy. Imagine we are entering an era called the VR era, the age of virtual reality. It's a simulated world where we wear something like video goggles. In the future, it might even be an entire suit. You put it on your face, and eventually, it could be a complete helmet, a mask that covers your whole head and neck. You'd breathe through an oxygen system built into it, providing comfort and support. You'd feel as if you were breathing naturally within this helmet, and it would display everything through screens in front of your eyes. This is the virtual reality world, a fully immersive simulated experience. You'd have choices. You could pick who you want to be, what face you want to have, whether it's your own or something entirely different. You'd choose your appearance, your health, your age, and even your name and surname. Everything would be fully customizable. And from this, a virtual world would emerge, making you believe you are truly living in it. In this world, you'd have a home, belongings, and a life that feels completely real. You might even think, this is my home, and this is where I live. But in reality, you are someone disabled, unable to walk, unable to move your hands or body at all. All you can do is wear this helmet and rely on your brain to control everything. Through your mind, you'd start to create a character, an identity, with a face, a life, and a story. As the virtual world opens up in front of you, you'd begin to live. You'd be walking, running, feeling joy at the ability to move freely. But wait, stop for a moment. You can't actually walk or run. You've entered the world of imagination now. Do you understand? This is the realm of fabrication, a simulated reality, and we've become immersed in it. Can you see this? We are living in the realm of the mind's manifestations. In truth, we are the mind, an essence that is pure and profoundly clear. We are the pure essence itself. However, this essence cannot comprehend anything on its own without tools. So, we created expressions, ripples, energy, that manifests as sound. These are natural expressions, a form of energy that we use in this world. This sound, for example, is part of the fabricated system of language, created to communicate within this world, but it has no self, no true existence. No one owns it. When we realize this, it can bring tears to our eyes, revealing the truth. We never truly came into existence in this world. This world is a realm of fabrications. We, as the essence, have no form. To understand anything, we must create form. Do you understand? We must create sound to function in this world. The body, too, is a tool. We temporarily inhabit this body, but it doesn't last. It will perish eventually. This body is something we wear for a short time. We also rely on sound as a tool, using it to create language and communicate. Yet, the pure life essence we truly are has no sound. It is the original, natural state, pure, clear, and formless. It is the very substance of boundless space, untouched and pristine. Let us imagine erasing the entire universe. Erase all the stars, the sun, black holes, dust, darkness, and light. Remove everything until only the original essence remains, the pure, clear essence. This clear essence is the primordial state from which everything emerges. All things began as an explosion from this pure, clear essence, which then created everything. This is the life essence within us, capable of creating entire universes. It is our origin, the essence from which we came into being. From this origin, we fragmented outward and began inhabiting material forms. We entered into these bodies and started learning. But instead of turning inward, we looked outward. We learned to think, to remember, to seek sustenance. Do you see? From morning until night, we labor to eat, to sleep, and then repeat. That's all there is. In the end, the body grows old, falls ill, and dies. Imagine if this body only lasted 5 days. What then? We'd be born, rush to eat, grow, and then die quickly. And where do we go when the body dies? Do we know? What remains is the life essence, still unknowing of its true nature. As long as the life essence doesn't realize what it is, it will seek a new body to inhabit and learn through again, whether as a creature of the water, land, air, or as a human. If life lasted only 5 days, we'd be born, eat, sleep, grow, reproduce, and die, caught in the same cycle over and over. This is the law of the body. It exists to consume, grow, reproduce, and perish. That's its entire purpose. When it dies, the life essence forgets everything. Imagine being a creature of the water. We've likely been countless aquatic beings over millions of lives, yet we don't remember. When was the first time we existed? The life essence in truth has never been born. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't come, isn't born, and doesn't die. It is formless, blending with the vast emptiness of the universe. We are everything. We are one with the great expanse, like a drop of water taken from the ocean. If one day that drop returns to the ocean, it becomes one with the ocean again. In that moment, you could say the entire ocean is the drop, or the drop is the ocean. One in all in one. That is who we are. This is the law of the body. It exists to consume, grow, reproduce, and perish. That's its entire purpose. When it dies, the life essence forgets everything. Imagine being a creature of the water. We've likely been countless aquatic beings over millions of lives, yet we don't remember. When was the first time we existed? The life essence in truth has never been born. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't come, isn't born, and doesn't die. It is formless, blending with the vast emptiness of the universe. We are everything. We are one with the great expanse, like a drop of water taken from the ocean. If one day that drop returns to the ocean, it becomes one with the ocean again. In that moment, you could say the entire ocean is the drop, or the drop is the ocean. One in all in one. That is who we are. The day I turned back to realize and connect with the pure essence, all my doubts vanished. I understood completely. I no longer questioned anything. I knew deeply in my heart that what is being spoken now is not me speaking. And this is not even a voice. It's like a world of a game, like playing a game and becoming lost within it. It's like living in a VR world, a virtual reality where everything feels completely real, yet it's not real. It's only a simulated reality. Our pure essence has no form. It is clear, without shape or structure. To be able to learn and experience, it had to create form. We needed to have form and inhabit the material elements. In the very beginning, the first star emerged from the void. We began to inhabit the material forms within that star, entering its cells, and thus life began, because we are the life essence. If we were to remove this life essence, or our mind, from the body would instantly collapse. Even with a brain, it wouldn't think. Even with a heart, it wouldn't beat. The body would die immediately because it cannot function without the life essence inhabiting it. Do you understand? As long as the life essence remains unknowing, unaware of itself, unaware of the nature of all things, and unaware that everything external is merely nature and not connected to the life essence, it will continue to seek understanding. We are the life essence, clear, pure, and devoid of everything. There is no body, no sound, no images, no emotions, no awareness, no anything. It is purely and profoundly pure. That is what we are. As long as the life essence does not recognize its true nature, it will continue its journey of learning. That is why the life essence has been manifesting itself into all forms of existence since the very beginning of time, continuing until this very moment. We have been aquatic creatures countless millions of times, terrestrial beings countless millions of times, and winged creatures countless millions of times. We have been everything over and over again. Even as humans, we have been reborn countless times, living as men, women, the wealthy, the poor, the privileged, and those who expanded their lineage greatly. We have been it all. We have had children, grandchildren, parents, and vast family lineages. With each new vessel, we are reset, starting anew to learn and create again, only to eventually leave this world behind. Everything is forgotten, and we are born again in a new form, beginning to learn anew. Each cycle resets to zero, and the process begins again, like playing a game. If we lose this game, we are reset to zero and must start over immediately. This is why, after playing this game for 50 years, we hold on so tightly. We become deeply attached and suffer greatly because of it. We love it so much, guard it so closely, and find ourselves in distress if we cannot play for even one day. This attachment consumes us, binding us with suffering. Wake up. We are not the game. The game is merely an illusion, a fabricated world of imagination. It holds no true substance. Even this body is the same. It is temporary. Do not think of this body as truly yours. We have changed bodies countless times. Understand this truth and let go of the illusion. This is the truth that no one teaches in this world. The world offers countless fields of knowledge, from earthly studies to cosmic exploration. We learn everything, earn degrees, hundreds of them, even doctoral ones. But do you know? This body will eventually die, and then will be reset. The essence of life within us will be reborn, starting anew, just as before. All the knowledge of this world, ranks, wealth, or even the status of a billionaire are fleeting. Whether we worship the earth, the sky, the wind, or the fire, whether we pray, request blessings, or offer sacrifices, it doesn't matter. As long as we haven't studied this one subject, the nature of the mind, the essence of life, the primal element, we remain trapped. Without understanding the essence of life, the original source, we will continue cycling through birth and rebirth endlessly, always starting over. Each life we enter is filled with suffering, from the moment we wake until we sleep. We strive to escape suffering, only to wake again to the same struggle. We toil from morning to night, merely for a meal, only to repeat it the next day. We are born as slaves to this paper we call money, slaves to our bodies, and slaves to this world. It's as if we are bound by chains, shackled by this life, dragged along to live a cycle of bondage. Wake up, wake up. Let's talk about the present moment. We are so fortunate to have attained a human body. Truly, we are lucky. This body allows us to use this voice. But remember, this voice exists only as a tool for use in this world. It's just a manifestation, not who we are. The voice itself is intangible. It cannot be grasped or owned, can it? Now, think about the thoughts running through your mind. When will I be rich? When will I get a bonus of 5 or 6 months' salary? When will I have 1 million? When will I own a car? Life feels so hard, so exhausting, so frustrating. When will I finally live comfortably? These thoughts, do you realize, are like playing a game. The voice you hear is ungraspable, intangible. Does anyone truly own this voice? If you can see that the voice has no owner, then why cling to it? It's the same with the game. There's no one who truly owns it. You can't immerse yourself in it because it isn't real. The essence of life, too, relies on these tools. This body, this voice. Not to cling to them, but to understand what we truly are. It uses these tools, so it can ultimately let go of them. The body exists so that it may one day be relinquished. The essence of life uses these tools to discover the truth, that we are pure essence. None of these things are truly us. When the essence of life realizes this truth, that all things are impermanent, arising and dissolving, with nothing truly being us or ours, it attains the understanding of its pure nature. At that point, it transcends the condition of being human. Listen to these teachings repeatedly and understand deeply. The more you listen, the clearer it becomes. The more you understand, the lighter you feel. With each moment of understanding, the burdens fall away, and there's a growing sense of freedom, lightness, and ease. Eventually, you will see that the voice speaking these words is not you. It's merely a manifestation, a natural occurrence within this world. The voice isn't even a voice. It's intangible, ungraspable. See this truth. The voice is just vibrations, a manifestation of the mind and the essence of life. It's merely a tool to be used in this world, nothing more. Understand this deeply. It's like catching fish. To do so, we need to create tools, a net, a fishing rod, or traps. We don't want to eat the tools. We want the fish. Do you understand? We rely on tools to catch fish, but once we have the fish, we discard the tools because we never wanted the tools themselves. In the same way, the essence of life seeks to understand its true nature. We are here to uncover what we truly are, and to do so, we rely on these tools. We use this voice as a tool, but we must observe that the voice, which constantly thinks and speaks, is simply a natural phenomenon. It has no owner. It's not us. It is merely something that exists for use. Imagination is a tool. Emotions are tools. Even awareness, the hearing of this voice right now, is a tool. Observe carefully. This awareness hears on its own, perceives on its own, smells on its own, tastes on its own, and sees on its own. Just notice this. Understand and recognize that what we call knowing or awareness arises by itself. It thinks, speaks, imagines, and feels emotions all on its own. Don't cling to it. Just observe. Notice how emotions arise on their own and fade on their own. For example, anger arose a moment ago, and now it's gone. Joy arose, and now it has disappeared. This awareness knows on its own. It thinks, speaks, and feels emotions on its own. There is no self controlling these things. They all function independently. Even the body works by itself. The heart beats on its own. Breathing happens on its own. The lungs, liver, kidneys, stomach, and intestines all function on their own. When we eat, the tongue moves the food on its own. The teeth chew on their own. Do we need to instruct the tongue? Do we say, "Tongue, move to the left while I chew"? Or, "Careful now, the teeth are about to bite down, move the tongue out of the way"? No, everything works by itself. Just as the body functions naturally, so too do the mind and emotions. They are not truly us. They are tools, natural processes that arise and fade for us to observe and understand. This voice is the same. Imagination, emotions, and awareness, all of these operate on their own. They are natural occurrences that arise and ripple forth from the essence of life. When we simply awaken and observe inwardly, we can see that these phenomena, voices, images, emotions, and awareness, arise and function on their own. They ripple as sound, as thought, as feelings, and as knowing. Just observe, like playing a game. Notice that everything in this game world isn't truly real. It is merely a realm of imagination, created for play. Our pure, clear essence, the essence of life, simply seeks to understand what it truly is. We are here to discover who we are and why we exist. Have you ever asked yourself, why was I born? What am I truly seeking? Even when we have a house, a car, a family, money, food, everything we think we need, it still doesn't feel like enough. Even with millions in wealth, there's still a sense that it's not what we truly want. Have you felt this way? This is because the essence of life desires to know itself. This formless essence uses tools, voices, images, emotions, and awareness, these ripples of energy, to learn and understand that we are not the body. It uses the voice to realize the voice is not us. It uses imagination to understand imagination is not us. Voices have no substance, imagination has no substance, and emotions arise simply to show us that they too have no owner and no true self. Even this awareness, this knowing, it knows by itself. Do you see it? It constantly reveals itself, appearing to the essence of life as it functions. All we need to do is observe and be aware inwardly. Notice how the voice speaks on its own, intangible and not truly us. The voice isn't us. It's a natural occurrence. Imagination is a natural occurrence. Emotions arise and dissolve naturally. Awareness itself functions naturally. So where is the self in all of this? There is nothing here that is truly us. Everything works by itself. Where is me in all of this? Let the essence of life answer. When we observe consistently and come to understand deeply that these things are not us, not truly us, then we realize that awareness arises by itself. So where is the self in all of this? Where are we in all of these experiences? What are we seeking? The essence of life begins to turn inward, to recognize itself by using these tools. It uses these tools to discover its own nature. And when it finally realizes that it is pure essence, It discards the tools. Do you understand? It's like using a mirror. We don't know what our face looks like. We don't know where our eyes, ears, nose, or mouth are. We cannot see our own face directly. The only way to know is to find a mirror. The mirror is just a tool. We don't desire the mirror itself. We desire to see our face. So we search for a tool that will reveal our face. Eventually, we discover the mirror. It may have taken a long time, perhaps starting with a rough stone. We polished the stone over and over until it became shiny. We didn't even know why we were polishing it. But after a while, it became so smooth and reflective that we could finally see our face. The moment we saw our reflection, that was it. Tears flowed. This is what I looked like. It was complete. Once we saw our face, the mirror was no longer needed. We didn't desire the mirror anymore. We only wanted to see ourselves. That's the point. Similarly, why were we born? Deep down, there's a question within us. What are we truly seeking? We may become wealthy, achieve everything we set out to do, and still feel it's not what we truly want. We've been through countless lifetimes. We've been every kind of creature. We've been good people and bad people, thieves and villagers, rich and poor, men and women, those with many spouses and large families. We've expanded lineages and built legacies. We've been through it all. Yet none of it has answered the deepest question: who are we? What do we truly want? But do you know that even now, we are beginning to learn anew once again? Even though we have taken on forms like this, in bodies like these, countless times before. This time, however, you are fortunate to have encountered me, and I am here to point something out. All of this is a game. Don't get caught up in the game. Everything here is just a game, a world of imagination. Wake up. None of it is real. It isn't you. You are here, watching. That over there is the game. When you finally stand up and see it for what it is, you realize that it isn't real. You stop playing the game. You stop relying on it because you've come to know the truth. You are the observer. Do you understand? It's the same with the body. We use this body like we use a mirror to see our true face. We rely on this body to create a voice for communication, to create images for communication, to create emotions for communication, and to experience and manifest these phenomena. Now let us all share these teachings widely. Share the recordings I've made far and wide so that everyone on this planet can listen. If possible, include it in educational curriculums. Teach it to children, from the youngest to the oldest, to people of every nationality, every culture. Let everyone hear this, understand it, and connect with the essence of their own life. This is the most challenging knowledge of all. But once you see it, once you understand it, it will free you from suffering forever. You will not return to this cycle of rebirth. It will be something profound, pure, and immensely clear. It is the ultimate purity, a unity with the entire universe. We are this essence. We simply use this voice, these thoughts, emotions, and awareness, just as we use the body, like we use a game or the world of the game. We rely on these things to help us understand. Now that you're listening, let it sink in. Understand, and you'll feel lighter and clearer, progressively so. It doesn't take more than 7 days, 7 months. Usually, it's less than a month. For those with wisdom, it can take just 1 day. When they grasp the essence, clarity comes, tears flow, and they truly understand. Just listen and bring this awareness inward. Observe carefully, just observe. From the moment you wake until you sleep, at any time, you can see it. For instance, when walking, notice how thoughts arise. it thinks about this and that. Do you see? It's aware of this and that. Do you notice? When you're walking or exercising, thoughts keep coming and awareness keeps happening. Do you see? It's thinking right now. It's aware right now. When you're running, notice how it knows that you're out of breath. Then you drink water. It feels the sensation in your tongue and throat. Do you see? It feels it on its own. When you're walking, running, or even working, speaking with your boss, observe the voice that speaks. It speaks by itself, and when the speaking stops, the voice disappears. Then, when you start speaking again, it arises anew. Do you see that this voice is intangible? It has no form. It is not the essence of life, not the pure essence. This voice is just a phenomenon, something created to be used in this world. All you need to do is observe and understand. It thinks on its own. It speaks on its own. It functions naturally. Recognizing this truth will lead to clarity and lightness. Observe carefully. Understand deeply. While you're at work during lunch, for example, when you sit down to eat, watching TV as you do so, notice. When you scoop food into your mouth, it tastes by itself. The taste arises on its own. If it's delicious, satisfaction arises on its own. Do you see? It's all happening by itself. You chew, 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 and after a while, the feeling of fullness arises naturally. Can you notice that it feels full all on its own? Then a thought arises. I'm just perfectly full. Do you see the voice that speaks this thought? At first you planned to eat 2 plates, but as you ate you thought, I'm just perfectly full. Can you see how the thought arises on its own? If we observe this clearly, that thinking, imagining, feeling and knowing are all arising naturally, we begin to see that these are not us. These are natural phenomena that know, think, and feel by themselves. When we deeply understand this, it's as if something is torn apart. Imagine holding onto a high voltage wire and then yanking it apart. The moment the wire, carrying electricity, is severed, there is a spark, an explosion of light and energy. That is what it's like when the essence of life breaks free, releases itself from clinging, and lets go of attachment. It's like stepping back from playing the game, letting go completely. This release is profound and illuminating. When our parents told us to stop playing the game, we felt, I can't stop. I'll just sneak back to play later. For now, I'll pretend to stop. But once mom and dad aren't watching, I sneak back and play again. When they're asleep, I stay up all night playing. This shows how deeply attached we were, how tightly we clung to the game. We believed the game was real, absolutely real, and we couldn't let it go. But one day, our parents started teaching us differently. Maybe they played one of my recordings for us, and we listened every day, every day, every day. Gradually, we started to think, why am I so hooked on this game? That thought marked the beginning of understanding. At first, we didn't want to understand. We didn't want to quit. We wanted to keep playing, to immerse ourselves, to be the best character in the game. That's all we cared about, being the strongest, the best. But as we listened more and more, as our parents kept teaching us, we slowly began to understand. Then, a question arose in our mind. Why am I addicted to this game? Why am I so attached? We began to wonder, is this character in the game real? Does it truly exist? The answer was no. It's just the world of the game. The voice in the game, it's only there to communicate within the game. The body, the character with a name, a surname, and a level. It's all part of the game world. Why are we so captivated by the voice in the game, the images in the game, the emotions in the game? Why do we get caught up in the sensations and feelings of the game? We started to see that it wasn't us. We began to ask ourselves, why am I so addicted? Why? This questioning, this self-reflection, was the start of teaching ourselves to see clearly. Listen to my recordings often, and it will happen like this. You'll begin to understand. It's the emergence of wisdom. The essence of life begins to develop wisdom and slowly loosens its grip on the tools it clings to. The essence of life, if it stops clinging to these phenomena, no longer relying on the body, the voice, imagination, emotions, sensations, or even memory, will start to understand and gradually let go. It will no longer depend on these phenomena. The voice exists to function in this world, but we aim to transcend the world. This voice is not ours. If we stop clinging to these things as if they are us, we will no longer suffer. Isn't that true? We suffer because we think, becoming consumed by our thoughts, just as we are consumed by a game. This leads to suffering, driven by emotions of satisfaction or dissatisfaction with what we think or imagine. But when we stop engaging with our thoughts, it doesn't matter what arises. Let it think whatever it wants. Let it imagine whatever it wants. Let the emotions come and go. Don't hold on to them. When you see dissatisfaction arise, kick it away. When joy arises, let it be and discard it too. Let go of satisfaction, let go of dissatisfaction. Just see clearly, kick it away. Thoughts arise here and there, but they're useless. Discard them. Thoughts cannot harm you. Thoughts are simply a natural phenomenon. If you don't cling to them, they lose their power and become meaningless. Do you see? The nature of thought, if we see that it's not us, but simply a natural phenomenon we foolishly cling to, loses its power over us. When we cling to it, we suffer because of these phenomena. But if we don't cling, there's no suffering. So why do we cling to this voice? Take this voice I'm speaking with right now. Why do we attach to it? If we see that this voice isn't really a voice, but just something that exists, we stop clinging to it because it's not us. It's simply a tool meant for use in this world. It speaks on its own. Similarly, imagination thinks on its own, and emotions operate on their own. Just see it for what it is. See that none of it is truly us. Why do we foolishly let ourselves suffer? Why do we foolishly sink into emotions, getting lost in them? Once we stop being foolish, wisdom begins to arise. Why do we get addicted to the game? Why are we so foolish as to cling to it? The game isn't even real. No matter what level we achieve, how many points we score, it's still not real. So why are we so captivated by it? When we understand deeply that we've been hooked by the game, we realize the game has always just been doing its thing. If we don't get hooked, don't play, don't engage with it, we don't suffer because of it. Once we understand this, we stop playing the game entirely. And that's it. It's over, isn't it? Similarly, if we simply awaken inwardly and observe the voice that is speaking, we'll see that this voice is like the wind. If we don't cling to the wind, if we don't insist, don't blow this way, or there must be no wind today, then we don't suffer, right? The wind just is. Cool air is simply cool. Hot air is simply hot. Do you understand? But if we interfere with nature, clinging to it, saying, why is it so cold today? Can't it stop being cold? I don't like this, and then we cry. It doesn't change anything. The air remains as it is. Do you see? The voice is the same. It keeps thinking, saying this and that on its own. If we don't cling to it, don't depend on it, the voice becomes meaningless. Imagination becomes meaningless. Emotions become meaningless. Even awareness right now becomes meaningless because it's not us. This is wisdom. I'm merely pointing the way so that you can understand. Observe carefully. If you awaken the essence of life within and observe inwardly, you'll see why you've been foolishly clinging. And once you stop clinging, that's it. Just see. See and let it be. See that these phenomena are not us. Notice how they know by themselves, think by themselves, and feel emotions by themselves. They have no owner. They are not us. Just observe and don't interfere. Don't get involved. Let them do their work. When you see this, they lose all value and meaning. You'll feel light, clear, and free. The more you listen to my recordings, the lighter and clearer you'll feel. The more you listen, the more the burden lifts, leaving you feeling at ease and completely free of doubts. When we understand deeply, truly understand, it's as though the more we listen, the more clarity arises. At first, we may understand 25%, and at this point, there's a sense of lightness and freedom, even tears of realization. As we continue, the lightness grows. At 50%, the clarity is much greater. The lightness and openness expand. As we move towards 75%, we begin to truly grasp it, reaching deeper into our core. When understanding reaches its peak, 100%, it is profound. It feels immense, bright, and pure. We become a clear, pure essence that merges seamlessly with the entire universe. This happens naturally, without force. For example, you might be walking casually, driving peacefully, or sweeping the floor in a relaxed state. Everything feels unusually light, clear, and effortless. During this time, you may feel deeply at ease and continue listening to the teachings. Then suddenly, something unexpected happens, perhaps a loud noise, like something falling on the roof with a thud. Boom! Startled, you notice the reaction of being shocked. You observe it naturally as it happens. Who is startled? Did it know this by itself? In that moment, the realization strikes. It's as if something snaps, breaking apart completely, pulling you out of the illusion of being a person. The sense of self dissolves, and with it, the clinging and confusion that causes suffering. It's a profound and transformative moment of awakening. And then we will come to a deep realization that nothing is truly us. We will ask ourselves, what have I been so attached to? All doubts will dissolve. We will know that we are no longer bound to be reborn, no longer bound to suffering. We will see clearly that nothing is ours. From that moment onward, we will live in this world with ease. There will be no suffering, no conflict, no fighting, no anger, no hatred, no vengeance. Instead, there will be sharing, helping, and supporting one another, because we will see that nothing is truly us or ours. If everyone in this world were to listen to my teachings and connect with their pure essence, the essence of life, they would come to understand everything. There would be no more need to harm, compete, kill, or destroy. There would be no more fighting over land or possessions, because none of it truly belongs to us. Instead, there would only be sharing, helping, and mutual support. Together, we would prosper for the last time, because these bodies do not last long. We would help one another, do good, and lead each other to listen to these teachings. We would guide everyone to free themselves from all attachments. When people truly listen, they will feel lighter, more at ease, and their lives will transform. There will only be lightness, freedom, and peace. We will live in this world peacefully until the body dissolves, and then it will all be over. We won't return to the game. We won't be trapped in this world of illusions anymore. I hope we all come to this understanding quickly. I will conclude here. May all of us awaken to the truth and realize the essence of life, the original source. overcome it, and may you reach understanding as quickly as possible. Break free completely. You will encounter something truly extraordinary. May this realization arise swiftly and instantly for everyone. May it be so.